There is officially a Kingstonian pitcher in the big leagues. It is Matt Brash. He was just called up by the Seattle Mariners this week. Looks like he may get into a game this week at some point. And his former coach at Bayridge Secondary, Geoff Stewart, joins us this morning. Good morning, Geoff. And what was your reaction to the big news?
Well, I mean, my reaction is that I was grinning from ear to ear. I can't think of a nicer kid and a harder working kid, a more deserving kid. And it's not that there aren't equally deserving kids in my coaching career, but to have that opportunity. He's worked so hard, not just through this season professionally, but all the way through his high school and college career to get to where he is. And it's really exciting for me as one of his coaches, and I think for the community of Kingston, because we've never seen anybody in this hockey town of ours come through and perform at the level he's performing.
When did you meet Matt? And tell us, did you know early on that he had the potential to be a Major League Baseball pitcher?
I met Matt in his grade 9 year at Bayridge, and I actually met him first as a basketball player when he first darkened the doorway of my gym. And he was, at that point, a little on the short side and a little on the thin side, and I'd heard really positive things about his abilities as a pitcher from kids who were a year and 2 years older than he was. And so start of April, when we traditionally start our baseball tryouts, we gathered in the gym. And, well, we've never had a kid step onto our mound in grade 9 and throw as many balls consecutively right into the heart of this silhouette as Matt did. So I knew right kind of from that moment that this was a kid that had all sorts of promise. Now, I don't know if as a grade 9 I would have picked him out as having major league potential, but certainly had a tremendous amount of promise as a pitcher.
You often hear about teams scouting players very early. Ever have any major league teams or even college teams coming around to have a look at Matt?
As the years went by and Matt made progress, the scouts certainly showed some interest, and it was his grade 12 years last year in our program that we had the opportunity to showcase him in front of a pair of scouts from the Padres, which was the team that would eventually draft him. Matt pitched as Matt tended to pitch in that year. He threw 4 innings and struck out 13. And
just doing some quick math. And is that even a thing you can do?
That's one more strikeout than should be recorded in 4 innings of work, but he threw a wild pitch, and one of the victims of Matt's slider ended up on first base as a result of the wild pitch. A pretty impressive performance in front of the right group of people.
Have we ever had a Kingstonian then play in the major leagues, or is Matt Brash the first?
To my knowledge, Matt Brash is the first. Now, my record keeping doesn't go all the way back to 1876, so it is possible that in the early days of Major League Baseball that somebody from Kingston did have a cup of coffee in the pros, but certainly in relatively recent memory, Matt would be the first.
Is there a memory in particular, whether it's a game or something outside of the team, that really comes to mind that you're always going to remember about Matt?
I think it was actually the last conversation that he and I ever had as coach and athlete. It was started the 7th inning against Frontenac in the championship game of his grade 12 year, and we were winning 1-0. And in characteristic Matt fashion, he drew a walk, stole a second, stole a third, stole home to give us the lead, and was on the mound to close out the game. And I said to him, one of the great joys in my coaching career is getting to watch you pitch. And I said, so go out there and be yourself, and this game's going to take care of itself. And, he just, again, in sort of characteristic Matt fashion, kind of looked at me and gave me this wry smile and said, "Don't worry, Stewie, it's happening."
And he struck out 12 guys in 1 inning somehow.
He struck out all 3 guys he faced in the 7th, and that was pretty special for us. It was our second and most recent championship, so that's a moment that certainly I will always remember.
And have you had a chance to talk to him since he was called up to the majors?
I sent him a text yesterday. he responded and said that he was excited.
Well, Kingston, Ontario officially has a second favorite baseball team. It's the Seattle Mariners because Matt Brash looks as though he's going to be pitching there at some point this week, you would think anyway. Either way, a pretty incredible rise from Bayridge secondary to the big leagues for Matt Brash, and his former coach, Geoff Stewart, has joined us this morning. Thanks a lot for your time, Geoff, and we'll be looking for him on the mound.
No problem, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Reid and Ben in the morning.
Kingston's Move 98.3.